Just to recap the Ohio State game, FIUs that were too lazy to come by and find out what was going on, which is most of you sitting here, all right? That basically we didn't win the game, all right? We lost, but I thought the effort was good. You just can't make the mistakes we made down there in the red zone, give up points, all right? And that's it. And, you know, that game's behind us. We made our corrections on it. Again, but I think that quarterback is an exceptional player, and he was a better athlete than the guys we had chasing him, obviously. So, but again, I think turnovers were a big point in that game, and but I told the kids that, you know, as far as fighting for 60 minutes, I thought they did that. But you know, I always tell the kids that there's 4 things to every game: you play hard, you play together, you play to win, you play smart. We did the first 3, we didn't do the last one, play smart at times, and I think that's the difference when you play teams like that. All 4 have to hit, all right, to be successful. And with that, let's get to FIU, and I'll answer any questions you have.
You're facing another running quarterback this week. I guess the experience of facing one the previous week, how that helps, and then what you do to sort of eliminate some of the big plays that they were able to make in that.
Well, I think we faced 3 now. The first Akron kid was a running kid too. He's going to be a really good player, I think. But you know, watching tape, and I think they're similar to what they have been. And on this 12 Medlock or something like that. Number 12 is you know, he's a steady quarterback. Hurts you with his feet, hurts you with his arms. So we'll have our work cut out defensively for us. And again, I think it's the more reps you can see of those things, the better you should play.
We were just talking to, obviously, Jordan Ray and Andrew Boyd, and they talked about, you know, last year's loss, you know, being one of the ones that really stung, like all of them do. Do you get a sense that the guys are fired up to try to avenge last year's game?
No, not really. I think all losses should sting, all right? I remember every one of them in 44 years. Name the game, I can tell you what happened, all right? And I think it's the old saying, every time you lose, you die a little. It's true. From a standpoint of what happens on the field and how much effort you put in the game. But, you know, again, we got to take care of what we have to do. Last year was a game that we just didn't do anything offensively. Defensively, probably played well enough to win the game, but you can't give up 6 sacks when, you know, quarterback is supposed to be doing something about that. And that sort of took it out. We didn't play well on special teams either. But again, we got another opportunity this Saturday to face them, and you know, we're working hard to get things done right. And again, but I don't go into last year. And I personally avoid that stuff with the team. I always talk about their team is different, our team is different, and that's the way I always look at those things. So again, you know, it's another opportunity. It's the 3rd game, 3rd season of the year, and we have an opportunity to come home now for 4 straight games. So that's what I've been talking about, playing in front of the home crowd for a change. All right.
There's a school president at a little pep rally a few weeks ago, and they talked about, you know, UCF, that little university being a big rival, and how much they spanked UCF last year and how they're going to spank UCF this year. I know you don't get involved in that sort of trash talk, but do you kind of look at this as a rivalry? That was from the school president, Mark Rosenberg. It was directed towards their student body because they're trying to get 1,000 students to load up buses to come to the game.
Can you imagine John Hitt saying that?
No, not really.
I don't either. So enough said about that. I'll leave it that way.
How's Latavius Stewart?
He's out. He's not in this game plan, and he's week to week, Pat. And you know, hopefully he's back for the Missouri game. I mean, that's what I'm triggering right now with the bye date, and you know, that would have been 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. So you know, hopefully he's back for that game.
Does it concern you at all that, I mean, he's been out this long?
No, I can't talk about injuries, but knowing what I know and what you don't know, which is a lot. It's not the sort of injuries. I think we're fine. You know, I think he'll be back, and you know, again, if I could play him, I'd play him. I think once the doctors get involved, the trainers, they have to give me the okay. And then again, if he could play, he'll play. But he won't play this weekend, and we'll go with the people that played the last game, and can hope they continue giving the pretty good effort they gave us last game. All right, I thought both backs went out there and did what we asked of them, and again, they'll have to carry us this weekend too. And it's just just gonna make them better whenever Latavius does come back.
And you brought Latavius to Ohio State, so you kind of served in the same role that Rob did last year when he was out
Well,
to kind
you know,
of help on the sideline?
I took him because I think we had some first guys gonna be out there in Storm, and, you know, he's eyes on the sideline. You know, the coach can tell a guy something about, you know, make the cut and stuff, but I think when it comes from a peer, I think sometimes a little bit more, they listen a little bit better at times in certain situations, but I brought him for that reason, no other reason. That's an eyes on the sideline for the running backs and protection, all right, and really protection is more than anything else.
You spent a lot of time in Ohio the past couple of weeks, you know, how good is it to come back and finally play home?
I think it's great to be home and hopefully get a good crowd and, you know, we get after it up there, but it's good to get home, and that's what I think I'm promoting with the players. They had 2 on the road, which I think the first time I've done that here. And then we got 4 at home in a row, so it'll be a good week, and you always want to get that one before bye date. We have a bye date after that, and we'll give the players some time after that. But again, all our game plans are loaded to FIU, and what we have to do to get points on the board, what we have to do to stop them from getting points on the board. So, again, I think it's a mature group of kids we have. And again, I lean on the senior class to make sure they understand that, you know, every game is a big game. And, you know, our fan base understands that a little bit better than they have in the past now. It's every game, once Ohio State's over, and, you know, it's over. Once Akron was over, it was over. Everything right now is FIU and what we need to do to win.
With FIU playing Akron this weekend, is there any advantages on tape of seeing a team against a team that you've already faced?
Well, you know, it was, what, 41-38 in overtime, but Akron played very well. I mean, I thought Terry really, from the first game to the second game, I thought his kids went out and did some good things watching tape, and give FIU credit. They were down, I think, 20-7 at one point, and came back and tied it up to take it to overtime. So, you know, we'll have our work cut out for us, and our kids know the importance of an in-state game. And, you know, if I have to talk to them about them, I think we got some geography problems in our team. You know, I think they understand what's taking place.
Coach, can you share some thoughts on the play of Terrence Plummer this past week?
Fair.
15 tackles, no?
Fair.
Yeah.
He fell into about 8 of them. All right?
Accidental tackle?
Well, the ones I get concerned about, the 8 ones he met that he should have been making tackles on. So sometimes the stats are very misleading. I think he got involved in a bunch of tackles, but I would have liked it a little bit if he got involved in the 8 that he should have been. All right? That went up the gut and stuff. And I think Terrence is playing better, and, you know, I think he basically has a tough job. He's only a sophomore, and he's directing the defense from a Mike position, and, you know, at times he gets a little flustered out there, but I think he has to understand, forget the last play, the next play is the most important. He gets tied up too much in the last play. I think that's what leads to some of his problems, but, you know, what do you have for tackles, I mean, 15? Yeah, those guys upstairs, yeah, I know. See, on every tackle, I don't agree with how we do this. There's a tackle, and there could be an assist, all right? And we're always either, we never make the top 50 in our own conference. We've been number 1 on defense for 3 years, and we don't have a top tackle in the top 50. You know, there's 1 tackler and 1 assist. That's how it works. There can't be 4 assists. That's what you call JOPs, jump on the pile. All right, there could be a tackle, and I stand them up, I get the primary. 2 guys come in, they get assists. We only give 2 tackles per game, according to Ryan. The 1 guy, and each get half a tackle. So I don't know if other schools do it that way, do they?
Excuse me, two maximum tackles per play.
And how come we're not in the top 50? How long have those guys been up there?
For a long time.
Yeah, no kidding.
Coach, your second year, I mean, you see improvement, you know, of course, moving forward as they get ready to see some pass-heavy attacks?
Well, yeah, we're starting into the league. I was disappointed in a couple of the guys out there as far as their play, their transition to the ball. I mean, they got to close the transition. I mean, you got to test those receivers. I mean, I can keep a 10-yard cushion and keep it in front of me, but you got to contest the balls more, and I think that's something we're working on. You know, it's like anything else, a DB comes back, it's like a corkscrew, you hit it and whack, you gotta come out of there quick, and our transition is, I think, is too slow. So we've been working hard on transition to the receiver and working on the cushion. I mean, I think our cushion at times was a little too big in the Ohio State game. I think, I understand 15 has great speed, same with 16, but you still gotta contest those throws because they're too good an athlete. If they catch it, it should be a catch and a headache. That's what it should be, a catch and a hit. And if they can catch it and turn on you, you got more problems. Because they're going to make you miss in the open field, and that's what happened a couple of times to the corners. So we got to close that up, so that was one area we had to get better in.
Kind of expand on that a little bit. You talked in weeks past about needing to tackle better and protection up front. You know, what's going to be the, I guess, some of the key points going into this FIU matchup?
The key points as far as one is that we got to play good offense. We didn't last year against them, all right? And we got to basically be able to, throw the ball and run the ball and do what we do. All right? I think defensively, same thing. I think you got a running quarterback. You got to make sure you know where he's at all the time, and then we got to tackle well. I think too much hidden yards in our tackles. I thought you got to drive the hat in front and not behind, and it's way too many arm tackles. So you work hard on that, but again the results of it are you're hoping that they understand, and you can't use too many humans during this time of year as far as tackling, but we work hard off the sleds, but the sleds don't move, right? But I think our redirection of tackles and all the drills we've run, I think have to help us. I thought Kamal Ishmael is the one guy over there in the secondary that when he hits you, you go the right direction, you're going back, all right? Because he has great contact speed. When you watch good tackles, I don't care, the NFL, college, high school, they have great contact speed. You see the back leg coming through all the time, just like good running backs. You see the back leg coming through. When you see that back leg stop, they're stopping. That's why you end up giving up hidden yards all the time. So that's what we concentrate on as far as that. But I thought FIU has a good offense. They know what they're doing with the ball, all right? And we're just going to have to basically tackle well, and whether it's run or pass, tackle them where they catch it, and make sure we limit the amount of yards on the ground.
I know it's 2 more years left on this series in FIU. You guys going to the Big East and playing, some further away games. Could this be a series that gets continued beyond that? Or
well, I mentioned in Todd that I'd like to, basically play in-state schools. I don't care who it is, but I'm in 1-for-1. I'm not in for 2-for-1s. And again, I'd like to keep that up with it when we head to the Big East, and whether it's them or someone else, it really. But it's home and home. It's not away. That's not the way it's going to work.
So you'd like to play one Florida team, hopefully, in the
Yeah,
non-conference
I think
every
it's
year?
great for the fan base. I think it's great for the state. I think it's great for our kids. There's a lot of rivals there, a lot from the same high schools and stuff. So I'd rather play with someone from Florida than travel to the West Coast to play a game. That makes no sense to me at all. All right? I think the more you can keep games close, the better off you are. Right? South Florida, we don't have to worry about that. We will be playing them every year. And, so it'll work out well.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks,